This is a meeting of the Fall River Commission on Disability for Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. And I will read that pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Roll call.
Chairman Dennis Paulselli.
Present.
Vice Chairwoman Debbie Pacheco.
Present.
Commissioner Lisa Silva.
Present.
Commissioner Dan Robillard.
Present.
Commissioner Ann O'Neill Souza.
Present.
Okay. The next item is public input. I will ask 3 times if there's any public input. So, is there any public input? Is there any public input? And is there any public input? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to approval of the minutes for the meeting of February 14th, 2024. I will
Motion to accept.
I need a second.
Second. Debbie Pacheco, second.
Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion? Okay, roll call. Roll call.
Chairman Dennis Paulselli.
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Debbie Pacheco.
Yes.
Commissioner Lisa Silva. Commissioner Lisa Silva.
I wonder if she's having trouble unmuting because I know she's here. Okay, I think we have to move on.
Commissioner Dan Robillard.
Yes.
Commissioner Ann O'Neill Souza.
Yes.
Okay. Next item is updates. Next item is updates under ADA. I don't have all the details right now. I think what I may do is the ADA work group is going to meet with Chris Paraimo and Al Oliveira because we did get an ADA improvement grant. But off the top of my head, I don't feel comfortable enough with giving some of the details. So, I'll update everybody on April 10th. I will say that Mr. Oliveira did appear, and I participated by phone in a committee on Health and Human Services, Youth and Veteran Services, which I think is the new liaison to our commission on ADA with the ADA work group. And they met a couple of weeks ago, and that's where the grant was updated, was at that meeting. The chair of that committee is Laura. Sampson. I'm sorry, guys. I just drew a blank for a minute. Laura Sampson. So we will be probably updating her from time to time. There's also a development because this commission began dealing with this issue even before I came back to Fall River in 2009. Commissioner Dan Robillard, our colleague, has been dealing with the whole issue of accessible taxi service. And for the first time, I would say since 2017, there may be some movement because Vice President Linda Pereira, in her role as chair of the Committee on Ordinances and Legislation, is putting together a meeting to discuss the issue of new ordinances for taxi services, including accessible taxi service. So we may be getting some movement on that area too. So that's something that I'll keep everybody, and I know Commissioner Robillard will keep everybody informed with. Right now, the parties are just being put together by the Vice President. So I don't know if Dan wants to comment on that or.
No, that's pretty accurate.
It's kind of breaking news.
From time to time, there's been informal discussions with members of the council, one or two at a time. But we have had several meetings over the years with the Ordinance Committee. This matter was tabled for a number of years. I think the last meeting, as you said, Mr. Chairman, was in 2017, maybe 15, maybe 19. I don't really remember. But there is an awful lot of history that goes back to 2006. At the time this very commission was formally founded. Our first meeting formally was on August 1st of 2006. This commission was put together by the then Honorable former Mayor Edward M. Lambert Jr., and the City Council played a role in that as well. At the time, Linda Pereira was the Chair of Health and Human Services. So there's a lot of history, a lot of discussion to be had, and I hope within the next year or so we can have accessible taxi in Fall River. Because right now, there is not a taxi in the city of Fall River that is able to carry an individual that is confined to a wheelchair. And that has to change.
Okay, so we'll keep everybody posted.
Thank you.
We'll keep everybody posted on that as this issue moves on. Policies? Any policies from anything from that, Debbie?
None at this time.
I'm sorry, Vice Chair.
You're all set. You're good. No, none at this time.
Okay. Under finance, I just want to say that I'm hoping that things will be moving along. I know at our last meeting we had voted to suspend the current police detail program while new memorandum is being ironed out. I'm really hoping that within the next month or two we can really move on this, because I just feel like I need to say for the record that although this is a little bump in the road, I need to remind people that I don't think we could have the community impact that we've had, including the scholarship program, without the partnership that we've had with FRPD. And I also learned during this process from Jeff Dugan, who's the Assistant Director of Community Services for the Massachusetts Office on Disability, that Fall River has been touted and publicized at every single regional commission training that Jeff has done. He always has held up Fall River's partnership with the police department as an example of what different municipal commissions can do to not only enforce disability parking laws in their municipalities, but also assist with finances for their accounts, so that commissions on disabilities can have the kind of impact on the communities that they need to have. So I'm really hoping that we can resolve this as quickly as possible. But I think it's on the whole, I think it's a partnership that, for the most part, has benefited us.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep, go ahead.
Thank you. The vote that we took last month, I need to say very clearly, in no way reflects any member of the Fall River Police Department in any way, shape, fashion, or form whatsoever. We entered into a memorandum. There's some issues with the memorandum. We felt as a body it was in the best interest of this commission to suspend until we work out the details of a new agreement, which will come before this full commission before anything is resolved. But the vote we took should not have any negative reflection in any way, shape, fashion, or form on any member of the Fall River Police Department, because as far as that goes, they've done an outstanding job managing the program. The issues that we have nothing to do with the members of the FRPD.
Okay, so that's, and then you've all got the budget report for February, so you should all have gotten that. The next item is outreach, and so next month we will be voting on the allocation of money for the scholarship program. There are 8 schools this year. Wait, there's not 8 schools, guys. There are 4 schools. There were 5. Bishop Conley's closed, so there are 8 students. That's where the number 8 came in. So there are 8 students, 2 from each school, that will be selected. And they have to be students with disabilities who reside in the city of Fall River, and the appropriate school staff, faculty, and guidance department will provide us with the recipients. So next month we will vote on an allocation, and I think we'll be and some other items regarding the scholarship program, and that vote will take place at our April 10th meeting. So are there any questions about that? Okay, hearing none. Is there any old business? Okay. Is there any new business? Let me see if
Mr. Chairman, one brief comment based on one of the updates that was given earlier. Has Councilor Sampson been named the commission liaison?
No, I think the person that has been in touch with me is Laura Sampson. And the last time around, I think it's never been formally communicated to me, but it appears as if the liaison to this council on the ADA work group, to this commission's ADA work group, appears to be the chair of the Committee on Health and Human Services, Youth and Veteran Services. That's what it was when Andrew Raposo chaired that committee, and now it appears to be that way under Laura Sampson, but it's never been formally communicated to me as such.
I see. Thank you very much. I yield.
Yep. I do have one item under new business, and I did list it on the agenda that's been publicly posted, and that is, I want to just spend a few seconds, and I want to ask the Commission's permission for me to write on behalf of the Commission to our Fall River Legislative Delegation a letter urging that they not support budget cuts to the PCA program, because many of our constituents use PCA services. For those who are not familiar, PCA services provide services for people with disabilities that may need help with various daily activities such as bathing and I think, Dan, you can probably explain it even better than I can, even though I've participated in protest marches to help the program.
The PCA program is a consumer-driven, consumer fully directed care program in which individuals get to hire their own PCAs and basically run their own program if they're able. If not, then you have a surrogate or some other person to do it for you, and you get help with all kinds of activities of daily living, and there's a whole gamut of services that fall under the range of the Massachusetts PCA program. It's one of the better things that happens in the state of Massachusetts. There may be one other state in the country that has a similar program, but there are not many.
So I did share with everybody the fact sheet that the Boston Center for Independent Living, and I can resend that if people want me to. But the Boston Center for Independent Living has put together a good fact sheet that can be drawn from for individualized advocacy. But I'm asking, I think it has a little more clout to it if we could go on record as a commission as something that something that we are in full support of, and we would not like to see any cuts in this program. So,
motion to allow Chairman Pacelli to write to the state delegation regarding opposing any cuts to the Massachusetts Personal Care Attendance Program.
Second.
Okay, are there any questions? Okay, I'll entertain a roll call vote.
Chairman Dennis Paulselli.
Yes.
Chairwoman Debbie Pacheco.
Yes.
Commissioner Lisa Silva.
Yes.
Commissioner Dan Robillard.
Yes.
Commissioner Ann O'Neill Souza.
Yes.
I will make sure that each commissioner gets a copy of the letter as well. And thank you for allowing me to do that. I appreciate it very much. So our next meeting will be Wednesday, April 10th at 3 p.m. We will be voting on a couple of items. As of right this minute, there are no guests that are scheduled, but we will be voting on a couple of allocations, just to give you a heads up. So is there any other new business that anyone would like to bring up? Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, I will roll call.
Chairman Dennis Paulselli.
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Debbie Pacheco.
Yes.
Commissioner Lisa Silva.
Yes.
Commissioner Dan Robillard.
Yes.
Commissioner Ann O'Neill Souza.
Yes.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Oh, wait a minute.